fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a big show coming your way first of 2021.
2021, it sounds almost weird to say.
I tell you what, it's been a cool summer. Lots of fish. You're going to see some unbelievable photos tonight. 3 species of flathead in Catch of the Week. And adds, I tell you what, they might be the best eating fish. We're going to debate which of the 3 is the best eating fish.
Ooh.
I had a bit of experience over Christmas.
Nice. It's a good start.
What have you been up to over the Christmas break?
It's been a very, very busy Christmas. The shops have been unbelievable. I know all 3, 4 shops, 5 shops. You've got about 4 of your own, but the million shops we have between us have been unbelievable. Home renovations and a brand new Rottweiler puppy. So it's all happening.
Go. What's the name of the Rottweiler?
Ellie.
Ellie.
Beautiful little girl.
She's gorgeous. I was going to say, it's a terrible name for a boy.
Anyway,
Trelly, good Chrissy break?
Yeah, good actually. Yeah, well, we worked all the way through, but that's what we do in retail when we're not going to Tassie and stuff.
I had 3 weeks in Tassie, it was beautiful.
Nice.
Do you know over in Tassie, there's just, like, you don't have to sign into a restaurant, you don't have to wear a mask in Woolies.
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't exist.
Which head they put it on?
Well, that's the problem, I guess. But just beautiful. And later on the show, I'll show you. I went fishing for 1 day.
Oh yeah, but
it was
what a day!
2.5 hour trip from the boat ramp to one of the most pristine parts of Tassie, and there wasn't a whiting under 50 centimetres there. So amazing place. So the other bit of news adds, I guess that we can tell people tonight, if they don't already know, is that we've started a new show on 3MP. Now,
we have.
For those people that don't know 3MP, you've got to be pretty grey-haired like me to know that 3MP was around. I think it started in the mid-70s in Frankston Bayside Shopping Centre, and of course I grew up in Frankston and knew 3MP well. Well, the licence got sold and it's been bought back, it's been turned back into 3MP, and they approached us and we got a fishing show going. So,
yeah, that's right, and they've been brilliant so far.
Yeah, so anyone that wants to catch it, 3mp.com.au, it goes up every Friday as a podcast.
Yeah, so you can find it on all your normal podcasting outlets too, Dave. So I've checked it out, it's all there, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, it'll be up there and ready to go.
I haven't... Later, after the show, tell me how to subscribe, because it's not sending them to me. But anyway, but there's just been some brilliant fishing around, but there's also been some tough fishing.
Yeah,
like the
it's
kingies.
been funny. Yeah,
the kingies, Charlie. I know you guys over in Geelong, like they're going off bar when they're getting lights, but in the bay proper, like the heads, it's been tough.
Not there, are they? But like I say, a bit further down the coast, it's been ripped off, losing lots of line.
I was talking to Taylor Hunt from Fisheries, who was out the other day, and he said he had a school of kingfish around the boat the size of a football field.
Yeah, well,
he said, "I got 12 or something." Through most of them.
Our good mate Mitch Chapman's been smacking them in amongst the bluefin as well.
Yeah.
The size has been a bit under, but the ones that are coming out of the heads have been really good. Just hard to come by.
Yeah. Folks, let's have a look at what's been caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
All right, now the first species of flathead in Catch of the Week, right? Have a look at this. Dave Capaldi?
Yep.
Dave Capaldi, a lovely rock flathead from the Quail Bank.
Would this be the hardest of the flathead species to target?
Yeah. So
you target these ones, do you?
Well,
or just a
no, I don't reckon you do, because people catch them as a bycatch to whiting,
That's right.
And so they net these down at Corner Inlet, and I've been doing a bit of work with the Corner Inlet netters. Talk about that on another show, but they get a lot of rock flathead in their nets. Luke and Netter, who you'll hear on 3MP every Friday night with us, he says that he cannot catch one on a line with a hook.
Yeah, right.
unless you put a soft plastic down. A rock flatty
Really?
are suckers for a soft plastic.
Yeah.
They're one of the few species that you'd be better off targeting them with a plastic than you would with a bait.
Yeah. Now we're going to get yelled at for taking up all the time on number one catch of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's come back to it.
It's a good story.
But I had them in the pub the other night, and I also know that when they're dead, you can tell if it's a rock flathead.
Oh, okay.
There's a different way to tell.
Yeah, I think I know.
Yep. All right, let's keep going. Here's second species of flathead in catch of the week. Catch of the week 2 is Dimmy Mathiodacus, a 60 centimetre yank flathead from St Leonard's. Have a look at that.
So yank flathead, they're the ones we most commonly catch in the bays.
Blue spot. Only, I reckon only for a few months, the warmer months, because normally the sand flathead.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, which are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But the yank flathead are the big
Instead of
ones.
when you pull up, they go, damn, god damn.
The next one, Ross Fuller, 10.5 kilo snapper from Mount Martha.
Wow.
Nice fish.
That's a nice fish.
I've got to say, is it because the water temperature stayed a bit lower this year? Right. So normally I reckon in the bay you might get up 21, 22. It's still 19 in most parts of the bay.
Oh wow, that's really
So
low.
does that mean that's? I think that's better for snapper.
Yeah, that's what.
Usually they go deep. And salt when it gets too hot.
True. But having said that, for this time of year, that area around Mount Martha's the norm to catch it.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised we're not hearing more catches if the
I
water
think they
temperatures
just go
didn't get
through
up that high.
Yeah.
That's good.
You reckon they just go through their cycle?
I reckon.
Like they've got a feeding cycle,
Nah.
they're going to feed at some point, and they just go through their cycle a bit later.
The fishermen go through their cycle, Trelly. It's whiting season, not snapper season.
well.
Yeah.
All right, next one is Gary Norton. All that rain, I reckon, has pushed some bream out into Patterson River proper.
Yep.
Gary got a ton of bream,
Has.
and have a look at that out of Patterson River.
Nice.
Absolutely fantastic. Lexi and Hayden, have a look at this one. Southern bluefin tuna. Now, they've been finicky. This is off Cape Patterson. There's been quite a lot of good reports from Cape Patterson, which is heading down towards Inverloch, offshore,
a bit
obviously.
easier to catch than the ones closer to
Well,
home.
the ones around Port Phillip Heads and just offshore, they're even
really tough to
Barwon.
catch.
But there's millions of them, but they're finicky.
Yeah.
Flat day out the back there too.
Yeah.
Nice.
I went out probably 3 Sundays ago, and we would have had a school of 300 tuna around the boat for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
We threw everything. I may as well throw a banana at them. Like, they would not touch a thing.
They have been funny.
They were just sightseeing.
I wonder why that is. They're a lot hard. They tend to be a lot harder out here than they are at, say, Portland during season or Warrnambool or something like that.
Oh, I think they'll fire up, but who knows?
You'd hope so.
How many people do you get like when you see them bust up in the school and someone come on and just drive through them?
No, do you know,
It's the Melbourne way.
problem was? No, you know what the problem was the other day. The good thing was, Charlie, there was patches. There was a patch of tuna there. There was a patch of tuna there. There was a patch of tuna there. Everywhere you looked, there was another patch of tuna. It was amazing.
Right.
But you'd see 2 or 3 boats heading to the patch, right?
Yeah.
First one that got there puts the flag up and the diver goes in to spear it.
So you can't go anywhere
and then you
near
can't
him.
go within 100 metres. And then you go to the next patch, and the jet skis going towards it because there was a million jet skis out there.
Wasn't it greeny?
Hey?
Far out.
Greeny
No,
stopping
they had big spears, so. But funny. All right, the third species of flathead, and I'm looking over here, Daniel Pratt, 74 centimetre dusky flathead from Lakes Entrance. Now, Pratty writes to us, I was flicking plastics on the Lakes Entrance footbridge chasing the kingies, and this beauty dusky turned up. Went 74 centimetres on a 4.5-inch paddle tail, released perfectly. So
74 centimetre bycatch flatty. How good is that?
now, if you'd have said 10 years ago that on the main street of Lakes Entrance you could flick for kingfish,
Yeah, I know.
and your bycatch is a 74 centimetre flathead, like
He's
fair.
on a pier, you're saying too.
Yeah.
So to get him out of those pylons and things would have been pretty tricky too.
Well, I think he was fishing land-based under the pier, like flicking out to the
pier in the
pylons,
back of the photo. I see, so
if I could see the photo. Anyway. All right, let's move down to Lake Tyers because the fishing down there is second to none. Trent Davis, have a look at this 95 centimetre dusky from Lake Tyers.
It's a real one.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Let's continue with Lake Tyers. Dan McKenzie, a 97 centimetre flathead. That is a crocodile.
Oh, that is, yeah.
That is a crocodile.
You'd stretch that one out to a metre, surely.
And down that way, or not quite down that far. Tom Caney, have a look at that. 63 centimetre kingfish.
Was he fishing for dusky flathead?
Probably. Port Welshpool's been fishing very, very
It has.
well.
That's probably that's been the kingfish go-to this season so far.
You know they're thick when 93-year-old Don Newman gets down there and catches a kingfish. And have a look. Now, we don't normally show Don's face on there. He's actually been doing a bit of yoga and looks quite young. But,
yoga?
Yeah, he's been doing yoga. But he does look young for his age. So there you go. Donnie, well done on the
nice
beautiful
fish.
kingfish.
Yep.
If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au. Go Pies!
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
And coming up, fisheries news, including a new maximum size limit for bream in the Gippsland Lakes. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See you down at Tackle World today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Gotta love the first show back. With just
Dominating.
The amount of rearranging that just went on in the last 2.5 minutes was unbelievable. Well done to the boys. Bit of news around, boys. This is big. First change in a long. In fact, this is, I think, the first big thing for bream
It is.
in history.
With huge input from wreck fishers too.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the news. The headline is New Slot Limit for Black Bream in Gippsland Lakes Plan. A new slot limit for black bream will come into effect from April 1 as part of a range of improvements in the now finalised Gippsland Lakes Recreational Fishery Plan. Minister for Fishing and Boating Melissa Horn, who by the way will be in the studio next week with lots of announcements, said the plan is already on track to returning the Gippsland Lakes to a recreational fishing mecca, with commercial netting removed in April 2020, well ahead of schedule, large stockings of estuary perch and Australian bass in recent months, and habitat restoration underway. Consultation on the plan and black bream fishing rules saw a record number of responses to the VFA's survey of recreational fishers. Almost 4,400 submissions.
Good.
That is a record.
Good.
Yeah.
Huge.
The new black bream slot limit of 28 to 38 centimetres was strongly endorsed during consultation and will apply to the Gippsland Lakes and its tributaries. The minimum size of 28 centimetres remains unchanged and will be enhanced by a new maximum size limit of 38 centimetres that will provide added protection for larger bream. The performance of the fishery will continue to be monitored, and black bream bag limits will be reviewed in response to indicators during the first 2 years of the plan. A steering committee will also be established to oversee the plan's implementation and review after 5 years. Another major step in the fishery plan is stocking Dusky Flathead. This is big news as well. The collection of brood fish from the lakes has commenced to ensure a breeding program can be started to improve flathead numbers in the system. The word is 150,000 Dusky Flathead will be stocked into the Gippsland Lakes. Now, can we just talk about this bit of contention here? And there's a few people unhappy with the bream situation because they've introduced a slot limit, 28 to 38. So anything over 38, you've got to throw back, the big breeders, right?
Yep.
I guess there was an expectation from many of the locals that the bag limit would be halved from 10 to 5.
Yep.
Or 10 to 4 if you're from Shepparton, right? Because they're not good at maths, right?
Yeah.
But 10 to 5 down at Gippsland. And the reason they didn't is, can you imagine, I think I've got this right? But can you imagine, so here's the state government saying, we've just spent X million dollars buying out the netters, right? We're trying to boost tourism. We're trying to get rec anglers back to the Gippsland Lakes. We want to create this rec mecca. Oh, but you can only take half the fish you used to. And the science says, Ads, that there's some big spawning years coming, and there are plenty of bream in the system. The environment's not the same as it was in the 1960s, so sorry about that.
Yeah, I was going to say too, just on that, because I am thrilled there's a slot limit, and I do also agree that they left the bag limit unchanged, because if there's anything we've learnt over the last, how long have we been doing this show?
6 years.
6 years, because that's when I've started to understand what fisheries or Victorian Fisheries Authority are doing, everything's done with purpose. Nothing's a guess.
No.
If,
Science backed.
If the bag limit needed to be changed, I have full faith they would have changed it.
Yeah.
Why do all of that in one go and turn people off catching bream, which is kind of what you're saying too. Let's give the slot in a couple of years, see what it's doing. If it's doing its job, happy days. If it's progressing a little bit slower, then maybe we can look at a bag limit and drop it back. But there's no point throwing all that in altogether because the stocks aren't critically bad.
Yeah.
We just want to keep the stocks healthy for a long time.
People travel to Gippsland. Still, a lot of people travel to Gippsland for the bream.
I'm one of them.
It will become a destination for Dusky Flathead, like Lake Tyers is. They will, it will be good. But the other thing is, it's been an unbelievable summer, unprecedented. The amount of King George whiting that have been caught in the Gippsland lakes now. And if you want to hear Friday on the other show, Brett Geddes is going to talk about just how good the whiting fishing is.
Which is
amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So I am all for the bream arrangement at the moment. I think, fantastic job by all.
Bit of illegal activity goes on over the Chrissy holidays, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Charlie? You didn't burn yourself with fireworks again this Christmas. That was pretty good. Or New Year's, I mean.
Have a crack,
Got all the way through.
Did the hospital ring you just to see if you're okay at midnight?
Got to have a couple of gift vouchers to the emergency section.
All right, the headline is 7 men arrested for Mornington abalone haul. 7 men allegedly involved in an abalone poaching syndicate. When's this ever going to end?
Allegedly.
Were arrested, you've got to say allegedly, were arrested by fisheries officers and Victoria Police last week. Mornington officers observed 2 men, one of which was known to them for previous alleged abalone offences, allegedly taking abalone at Fossil Beach. During the search of their car, the 2 men, or one of them fled.
Oh, wow.
They got him. During the search, 2 men were allegedly found in possession of a commercial quantity. Have a look at the amount of abalone there.
Just a few over.
Including 126 black lip abalone, 76 were undersized, and 1 undersized green lip abalone. All abalone were returned to the water, and the vehicle and dive equipment were seized. Both men were taken to Mornington Police Station for interviews and subsequently charged with taking a commercial quantity of abalone. They were released on strict bail conditions. How's this? Which included not being within 5 kilometres of a Victorian marine water. How good's that for a law?
Nice. I was going to say, what happens to old mate who allegedly this was his second go at it?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but not go within 5Ks because he's going to cop it.
He might live.
Do you know, they later on that day, they suspected a couple of other blokes and they went and caught up with them as well, and they had 189 abalone, 70 undersized, lost their car in that as well, so there you go. Old mate, this is old mate. Remember old mate last year got caught on the calamari? He went got too many on his own and went 3 times a day and all that sort of stuff.
Joe from Geelong.
Well, here it is, illegal. This is the headline: illegal calamari catch. Sees boat forfeited. A hillside man who took 23 calamari off Queenscliff and broke water safety regulations has been convicted, prohibited from fishing for 6 months, another good law, fined $1,200 and had his boat and fishing equipment gone. Equipment is forfeited. Now, fisheries officers observe, you might say 23, that's harsh, Fisheries officers observed the man in October 2019 take more than the calamari catch limit, which is 10 per person per day. The man took a total of 23, 2 of which were returned to the water dead when a larger calamari was caught. This activity is known as high grading and it is not allowed. The man was under surveillance for the entire fishing session as part of Operation Focus. Soon after, fisheries officers intercepted him at the boat ramp where he claimed to have only taken his bag limit. At the time, another male was on the boat, but at no time did he go fishing. The court heard the man had 2 prior matters
he's done.
recorded for similar offending.
Yeah, he's no good.
And on both occasions, his boat had been seized, but later returned by the court. Well, guess what? Didn't get it back this time. This guy's repeatedly, Mr. Park said, repeatedly breaking fishing regulations shows a blatant disregard for the law and the importance of abiding by catch limits so we can all enjoy our sustainable fisheries for years to come. So if you're third time offender, you're gone. You're going to lose your car.
You're sure out.
Learn how to be more sneaky.
Get a black boat.
Oh, God.
No, shouldn't be doing that. All right, this is another one. And this, they're busting them.
What species this time?
Bream,
Oh, bream.
Yeah. So this is the headline here is 1-3 fish call makes the difference as car and a kayak are seized. So they're building up a great, they'll probably have a VFA car yard soon.
The fleet.
Fleet of cars. The 1-3 fish reporting line continues to ensure fishing in Victoria will be sustainable for years to come after a call by a member to the public led to 2 people having their vehicle, kayak and fishing gear seized. Well, listen to the gear. Lakes Entrance-based fisheries officer Christine said officers received a call through 1-3 fish on Saturday, 2nd of January and intercepted the couple leaving the Tambo River near Meetung. Officers conducted a search of the couple's vehicle, which revealed a long line with 83 baited hooks and a 76-metre mesh net.
Far out.
That's dedication.
They weren't messing
That's
around.
dedication to bloody illegal activity. We shouldn't be laughing about this. The illegal equipment was confiscated, and the couple's Toyota Camry was seized along with a kayak and other wreck fishing gear. The type of equipment has the capacity to cause significant damage to the populations of fish and native aquatic wildlife in the Gippsland Lakes. Shortly after the intercept, near Meetung, Metro-based fisheries officers from the Brayside station, that's the new station, attended the residential address of the alleged offenders. A search of the property sheds resulted in further large monofilament nets being seized. So you're just allowed to have them.
No.
But
You're not allowed to net the whole Tambo River 76 metres.
Since when's there been a demand for bream?
I don't know.
Yeah. What was it, 73?
Because we went from abalone and calamari to black bream.
How many
Like bringing a
baited...
bit of brim the other day. That's the question where it
And now where it came from.
83 baited hooks.
Yeah.
It's taking a long time to put that
Who
together.
owns that stuff?
This bloke, I used to.
You can buy it at a tackle shop.
What?
Well, he's probably made his own.
You can't buy a long line of 83 hooks.
You just
make
crib
it up.
them
That's
together,
what I'm
mate.
saying. Who owns
When there's a
that
will, there's a
stuff?
way.
Oh dear. Anyway, coming up next, product of the week, and we head into the kitchen. Cara has one of the best tasting species you can get in the bay. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
This week's product of the week has been a very, very long time in the making, and boys, it's exciting to be able to show you now the full range of the 2020-21 Saragosa, because we've been waiting a long time to see the whole size range. It was announced a long time ago. It's by no means a new reel, but with all the issues we've had with supply, manufacturing, shipping, the whole box and dice, they're finally all here. So what a time to show you what's going on. Listen, Saragosa would have to be the highest selling big reel I've ever seen.
Yep.
So I've been in the industry a long time. Dave, you have Trelly, you even longer. I've not seen a reel in this size at this price point sell as many units as what a Saragosa has. It blows my mind still, and has just received a full upgrade. It is now got the best saltwater guard that you can get. So Shimano run various different arrangements when it comes to actually protecting the reel, whether it's an internal chamber, there's guards on the barrel roll and also on the rotor. So you're protected in the harshest conditions. It's the smoothest reel. There is no play. So I'm going to use the biggest reel, for example. This is a 25,000 size spin reel. It's massive.
It is.
Now, the issue with a big spin reel is the wobble through the whole body when you wind it is incredible. You're fighting the gear as well as the fish.
Yep.
Not anymore. What Shimano do is change the way they make the pinion gear and the way it interacts with the main gear and gives you incredible stability, which means everything inside's shielded. These are designed to run high drag pressure and high pressure at all times.
20 kilos of drag, that model.
And it puts a lot of pressure on the reel.
Yeah.
That alleviates a lot of that, so your reels last forever, essentially. The size ranges basically used to stop at a 10,000. We used to see 18,000s, 20,000s. It is now a full comprehensive
there was
range.
never a 14.
No, well, so we
there
go
is.
5, 6, 8, 10, 14, 18, 20 and 25. It is massive.
Yep.
For every single saltwater application, a Saragosa is there and ready to go. 10,000 for us is still the most popular size by far because it's the best, most versatile reel, whether you're fishing Western Port for gummies, whether you want to venture offshore and catch kingies, whether you want to take it west for bluefin, you can do that and it will handle it magnificently. The 25,000, trolling is becoming a lot more acceptable in our part of the world since the arrival of kingfish and bluefin in our home waters offshore. A lot of people are scared of overheads, and rightly so. They're heavy. They get a little bit scared by no level wind, so feeding line back on. They're not a comfortable reel. No, they have their purpose. There is some applications where you must have one. But if you're still just learning, a 25,000 Saragosa spooled with 15 kilo mono
well,
will be
here's the stats
one of your
as
best
I've got in the book
reels.
here. 65-pound Power Pro, 630 metres.
So Power Pro being braid, you could comfortably fish, I'd say 300 metres of 15 kilo mono.
Long way.
That's a lot of line. That's a lot of line. So there is a big trolling option.
And you haven't got, you know, where you're talking about that wobble, you know,
it's
and
not
so
there.
that balance is not there anymore, and that's probably half the reason why people used to use overhead reels.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
It's more direct and that. Whereas this, the balance, the gearing, the
balance is perfect.
People
It's
are using spin for so many more applications.
That's right. And I think for the fishery we have with our larger species that we would troll for, it's perfect. Don't get me wrong, it's not something I would go to if I was chasing 100 kilo tuna. It's capable of handling it, but that would be uncomfortable. There is still quite a large arbor, so the line's got to come over that way. But for our general 8 to 30 kilo bluefin, that'd be the best fun you've ever had. Just quietly.
Right, they're not lightweight either.
No, they're not,
so
because
that
they're a saltwater concept reel.
It's 960 grams, nearly a kilo that weighs.
That's right, and it needs to be, Dave.
Small, doesn't it?
It does. It does. But the weight's necessary. I think we get carried away with how little reels weigh these days. And when you're talking finesse fishing, that's great. When you're putting in 1,000 casts a day and you're only dealing with smaller fish, you've just got to wrestle them out of a snag here or there. Balance comes with everything. These aren't going on lightweight rods.
No.
These are going on, 50 to 80, 100-pound rods, anywhere from composite carbon, graphite, glass to glass solely. You need weight in the back end. It helps with control. You're not casting a 25,000 reel all day. At 10,000 size, yes, no worries. But the rods that these suit are incredibly lightweight to help with counterbalancing. These are as tough as a spin reel gets.
The thing is with these two is, like you say, the technology allows them to be a more rigid reel.
That's right.
Because once you get distortion, you get resistance and you get friction, which adds to the reel not doing its job properly.
That's right.
But because they are so stiff in the manufacturing of them, everything works without that resistance and without friction by turning and twisting a body and things like that. That's why they're so
to double that point, we've seen the introduction of Hagani for the last 5, 6, 10 years. This is Hagani everything, gears, body, the whole lot. So that cuts down on that movement. Now we've got the way they're offsetting the internals to. These reels will literally go forever. They will, because there's nothing wearing on those internals to the point where they need to be changed consistently. So if you flog the hell out of it for a season, pop it into Shimano for a service, you're good to go.
Built like a little tractor gearbox.
I'm excited by these.
This one here, 113 centimetres per crank retrieve rate. All right, getting the wind up. We've got to jump in the kitchen with Cara. Have a look at this one. I reckon one of the most beautiful species you can get in Port Phillip Bay. Check out Cara in the kitchen.
Then is it?
Well, a very big Happy New Year to you all. It's great to be back in the kitchen, and this season I've got some fantastic recipes to share. We're going to kick it off with these gorgeous garfish fillets. I'm going to make a really lovely simple herb butter, pop these little guys on some skewers, and we're going to pan fry them. Now I've got these lovely fresh herbs straight out of the garden. I'm going to dice these up quite fine. Any combination of herbs is fine. And if you've only got dried herbs, that will work equally as well. We're going to chop those up. And then I've got a lovely knob of butter. And we're just going to pop that into the microwave. And then we'll throw the herbs in, some salt and pepper. And that's our herb butter done. We're going to season our garfish, little salt and pepper, just on both sides. Massage it in there. Flip them over and do the underneath. And then I've got a pastry brush. We're going to brush our herb butter mix over the top. Quite generous, but we will also re-cover once we're cooking as well. To skewer the garfish, I'm just going to cut all of them down the centre, just through the middle there, so that we've sort of got two separate fillets. And these will thread much easier. You leave the skin on garfish too, crispen up beautifully. So we're just going to grab him, poke it through, and we'll concertina fold. So just back on itself a few times. There's no set rule. And I think we'll put both on the one. And they're going to look really groovy once they've cooked up. Our garfish is all threaded onto these skewers. I've got a hot pan heating up behind me. We're just going to do one last drizzle before we put these on with our herb butter. But just making sure we get inside all of the pockets there. And we'll do both sides. And when we pop them onto the pan, it's going to be skin side down first. Two to 3 minutes each side. To finish these off, we're going to deglaze the pan. We're going to add back in the remainder of our butter, and that's going to bring through all those beautiful flavours. Well, these garfish smell absolutely delicious. They are crisp and gorgeous. I've got a really beautiful, fresh, simple garden salad there. Just going to stack these little guys over. And then we make sure that we'll save all of the beautiful burnt butter sauce in here now. And that there is this simple herb buttered garfish dish. How good does that look?
I love garfish.
Get on the gars, Dave.
Hey?
Get on the gars.
Oh, they taste so good.
Butter.
Yeah, I know. Coming up next, Kramer's mailbag. Plenty more on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing. Now, a bit of mailbag. I was just saying, I meant to mention after Catch of the Week, Chloe Malloy, what a champion first game back.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
We're busy renovating.
Renovating.
Played the game of her life. Champion. I still hate Collingwood. I sent her a text
Flag favourites.
Yeah, for the women.
Yeah.
Not the
And
men.
the men.
There's only one person in deeper trouble than Trump right now, isn't there?
Eddie. Poor Eddie. Poor Eddie.
Trelly's a fan. He's got to make Eddie great again.
Yeah.
Aren't you? All right, in the mailbag. Here we go. This is from David, actually. And it says, Dear David, Adam and Steve, my dad and I started watching your show last year in 2020. This is a bit of a long one, but we're going to get through it. And we started watching the show last year in 2020 and has been really good to watch every week, including if we miss an episode that we could watch again on YouTube better than Facebook as it keeps on stuffing up. as YouTube does not, and you can fast forward the ads to watch your show again.
Nice.
Right. I see people can contact you to Kramer's mailbag and ask you to find out best fishing spots, etc. That's why I need to contact you.
Fun's in the ads button.
My question to you, number one, right? This is his number one question. Right. So, boys, you might have to help you. I want you to answer this one, actually, or Trelly. On your last episode, Christmas 2020, where the Santa face was in front of you, where Adam Ring sits in the middle, can you have the calendar dates moved there? Was that on the front?
It must have been.
Yeah.
Can you have the calendar dates moved there, as it is really hard to see it at the back of the fake bar door during every episode?
Yep,
Can you get that sign?
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Right. That annoys me. That's so small, that sign. Each week for this year, 2021 and beyond. And for your fellow TV, YouTube and Facebook followers to know what date each episode was on.
Okay, can't miss it now. Tick that box, Dave. Sorted.
I actually thought up the back there that was 2 out of 2. That was our score tonight.
Yep,
That's how well we're travelling.
2 for 2.
Yeah. 2 for 2.
Darts board.
By the way, Australian cricket, they just cancelled the South African tour.
Oh, really?
Saw that during the break.
That's no
There you
good.
go. Breaking news on Talking Fishing. All right, so we've moved that for you, David.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Next.
Just remember to do something decent next week, though. And my last question to you: I still see you do not have a full website for Talking Fishing up and running, as on it now still says at the bottom, full website coming soon, even on your Facebook. Well, that's because
we're half-wit fishermen and not crackheads.
No. In all seriousness, in 2014, we had a 10-year plan to get a website going. It's not quite there.
Oh, yeah, it's plenty of time.
If you know how to do a website, help
Plenty
us
of
out,
time.
because we are hopeless. I don't have Facebook, but I can see the basics. So can we. And I see if you had a full website up and running now, I would like to buy your Talking Fishing T-shirts, stubby holders, get on the beers, etc.
Didn't they start the show wearing glasses? I reckon he's going to end the show wearing glasses.
Yeah.
I can't. If I have to have glasses, I'm going to sue the bloke who did the operation.
Was that a 10-year plan too?
Cost me a lot of money, but sometimes I get a little bit blurry. But anyway, enough
Too many beers before the show. Too many beers before the show.
Glasses.
On the beers.
Yeah.
It's on the date at the moment. Anyway,
There we
on the
go.
beers. Roy writes to us. This is a good one. This is a good one, and I'll tell you what, the minister is going to. It's going to be a Paul and Hanson next week. Please explain for the minister. Roy writes to us and says, "G'day, Dave, Adam and Trelly. How are we for the new year? Good.
Yep, dominating.
Yep. Cut simply. What? And please find out for me and others, when will the Marabong River boat ramp be completed and operational for accessing a mighty fine fishery and not having to travel 14 kilometres at 5 knots all the way in horrible conditions all the way up the river to end up in peaceful, tranquil, great fishing areas up the river? Thanks. Would like a straight up answer, and no one travels that distance, as it's unsafe in prevailing nearly always conditions. Full stop. Regards, Roy." Well,
Fair call, Roy.
I can tell you
Fair question.
that there's only one thing stopping the Marabong boat ramp, and that is the Moonee Valley Council. Right, that's the only thing. So it's not going ahead. There is $1.7 million in the budget.
So it's
from
not
the
going
state
ahead at
government. Well, the Moonee Valley Council won't allow it yet. They're the land manager. So it is the only thing that's stopping
Doesn't make sense to me.
the Marabong River boat ramp.
What's
It's the
their issue
council.
with the boat ramp?
There's many. So anyway,
Couple of bankers on the council, I think.
The bankers.
Yeah. One of them worked for the Commonwealth, the other one worked for the National.
Big W.
Big W.
But Roy, rest assured, we will be asking the Minister for Fisheries and Boating, Melissa Horne, next week, where is the Marabong boat ramp up to? Because I think it was a promise by the local MP 4 years ago.
Yeah, but there was funds, and it came up at other meetings too, that thing. So we better. Someone can send us in.
But
the
it
name
was.
of the
I think
councils.
the problem was it went to Better Boating Victoria. They did nothing. They had to give a bloke the flick now. Big announcement next week about Better Boating too, because things have changed there.
Might be a smoking ceremony.
It's. Oh dear.
Beers and a barbecue.
Little things you say quietly, Charlie, I tell you. I don't know if they pick up on the microphone, but anyway. All right, here we go. Leslie writes to us. Leslie, Leslie writes, as most of your photos of the week are people fishing in boats, I want to know reasonable spots to do any land or rock fishing in Port Phillip Bay, say from Frankston to Portsea. All right, We're actually half prepared
Compiled
for
a
this
list.
Leslie, let's have a look. We're going to put a graphic up. We're going to talk about all these. So I reckon this is the top 9 spots to fish.
Nice.
Every jetty.
Trelly, you throw in anything you know about any of these spots, right? Number 1, Portsy Pier.
Oh, wow, my list is backwards.
Is it?
Yep. Anyway, Portsy Pier.
Portsy Pier.
Yep.
Great for calamari. You got to fish.
Biggest calamari land-based Portsy Pier.
Yep. You've got to fish on the incoming tide is best.
Yep.
And you've got to fish to that.
Fish on the inside.
Yeah, the inside, which is to the east. Great for that. Sorrento Pier is number 2.
Another calamari hotspot.
Great, but great on an outgoing tide for King George whiting because you can virtually cast a mile into all those weeded areas where they come out and feed in the sand holes. So
that's where the big boat comes in, isn't it?
It is, where the ferry is, but you can get away from that.
So you go freshwater boy.
Yeah. Number 3, Blair Gowrie Pier.
My favourite pier of all time.
4.
Everything.
Yep.
King George whiting, calamari, Australian salmon, pinkies.
Yep.
Don't ignore the first half that seems to be only 6 inches of water.
Yep.
Chuck a plastic around.
First kiss down there.
There's some nice little gutters and channels that are hard to see where the fish will congregate in there.
All right, number 4. Feel free to throw up the graphic anytime, boys out the back. Anthony's Nose is number 4. Now, Anthony's Nose is a different one, right?
It is.
There's a rock wall, like built in the 50s or something on there. You fish there at night with a surf rod for King George whiting.
Is Anthony's Nose, you can practically fish out the back of your car?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the water comes right up to that wall. So Anthony's Nose
That's a good
Dramana.
one. That's a good one.
Number 5, Herne Road in Mount Martha.
Snapper City. Rougher the better.
Number 6, Linley Point Lookout.
No idea where.
Snapper. Very close to Mornington.
Okay.
But rocks and deep drop off.
Nice.
And easy to get to. You don't have to climb down a cliff, be an abseiler.
Oh, even better.
Number 7, Mornington Pier ads.
Mornington Pier is probably the most popular pier in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
It's insane. But everything, snapper, garfish, calamari, whiting, Australian salmon,
kingfish.
You name it, they're there.
Yep.
Every breed.
Trelly, Davies Bay Jetty. What do you reckon about that?
Davies Bay Jetty. I reckon that's the place to go.
Because it's at number.
Mount Eliza, it's a secluded, beautiful little place. Lots of garfish and small calamari around there. And number 9, the Frankston Pier.
Frankston Pier, night time, get the lights on going there, bit of burley, garfish city.
There you go.
Right.
So there you go. Who was that? Leslie. We've answered your questions. Hopefully
Write them
enough
down,
there.
Leslie.
If you would like to write into Kramer's Mailbag, this is what you have to do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
And coming up next, the all-important hotspots. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
The Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron is a trailer boat and social club on Port Phillip Bay. The club has a great range of facilities, including multiple boat ramps, ample car and trailer parking, boat wash and fish cleaning, fishing competitions and boat safety lectures, boating activities and club events, a restaurant and 2 bars. Easy launch and retrieval makes for a relaxing time on the water for you, your family and friends to enjoy. And boating memberships are now available. The Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, the best trailer boat experience on the bay.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots, brought to you by the Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, Melbourne's premier trailer boat club.
Alrighty, the all-important hotspots. I tell you what, people will be getting it. Saturday's looking magnificent.
Nice.
Unless they change the weather. But anyway, number 1, there's King George whiting been a little bit tough in Port Phillip, I reckon, boys.
Okay.
The number of boats and jet skis is record numbers at the moment. So I reckon they've just, turned the fish down a little bit. But the Pinnis Channel has got to be number 1. The northern end, King George whiting, that's the place to go if you want a good King George whiting. For those that can't get offshore that far, the reefs around Rosebud have been absolutely fantastic as well for King George whiting. Let's head over into Western Port if you want a big one. And actually, we'll have the details next week of the whiting challenge.
Oh,
Western
yes.
Port whiting challenge.
Yeah, that's right.
Going ahead this year.
Going ahead.
2021 going ahead. And McAfee Reef is the place to get a big one if you want the big King George whiting. All right, for those of you chasing gummy shark, head to Coronella, the Tembe Channel.
Tembe Channel.
For gummy sharks.
Can fish at land-based too, by the way.
Yeah. Nice little spot. Trelly, out to the west of your Geelong shop.
Yep.
is a little lake called Purrumbete.
There is.
And I think there was a 6.5 kilo Chinook salmon taken out of there during the week.
Yeah, right.
A monster.
Yeah, there've been some big catches of redfin over there. It's just a lovely little lake
Great spot.
there.
But the Chinooks are absolutely on fire there. And lucky last, I know there's been a million holidaymakers down there, but Anderson's inlet at Inverloch.
Nice.
So many King George whiting really having a healthy time down there as well.
best bait ever at Nando's.
Down there.
Yep.
Absolutely. So that's the hotspots. Now, David, we've fixed up. We've put the date there properly. We did have the date.
Turns out I can't swing my legs anymore, Dave.
The date was set up properly, but anyway.
Perhaps next week we'll be all right.
Might have to screw that in, I think.
Oh dear. All right. I was going to tell you about Tassie. Have a look at this. I think we've got a photo up if we can. Well, this is the whiting we caught in Tassie. 50 centimetre whiting.
Wow.
The first one that came up, I actually looked at it, and I've never caught a 50 centimetre whiting before, right? But I actually looked at it and thought, they're not meant to be that big. I took a photo of it beside a wine bottle that night, and it's nearly as thick as a wine bottle.
Are you still using the standard sort of nibble tips that we use in Western Port and Port?
No, I went a little bit heavier.
Just because of current, or because the fish are 12 kilos?
This was like you actually drove around the northwest tip of Tasmania and in amongst all these islands. Now, I went with Rodney, who runs Tackle World in Burnie, and Rodney said the beauty of these fish is they're well protected because the weather's so bad here. You only get to fish 20 days a year. And I happened to be staying in Smithton for 1 day, 2 nights, 1 day in Tassie. And it was the day where it was just perfect conditions.
Nice.
So, actually, there was 2 days. Worstling went out the day after. His best was 65 centimetres. Yeah. That's a big whiting.
How big did they get?
There's a picture of an 80 centimetre one floating around at the moment. So they are the big breeders. And they're just in areas that are really uninhabited and they get away and they breed and do their stuff. So unbelievable. Also should give another quick mention, 3MP Talking Fishing. You can grab it every Friday night off 3mp.com.au. There's the website on your screen. 3MP's back from the 1970s. It's been reborn. I know the licence disappeared a little bit, but get on it. Our show, who do we have? We have Brett Geddes from Gippsland. We have Zach Cross from Cross Country Fishing. Joe Farr for the Mornington Peninsula Report. Steve Johnson for the Western Port Report.
And Luke Anetta, that's an interesting one.
Luke Anetta from he's a commercial fisher down at Corner Inlet. So we're covering so much of Victoria.
Yeah, all the coastal.
And we have a special guest every week talking, just special stuff.
Yeah, bits and pieces going on. So make sure you head over to all of the podcasting websites, apps, whatever they are. They are on those. I've checked that.
I didn't really even know what a podcast was.
Best things ever. It is
the
best
you listen
thing
when
ever.
you want.
Eddie Maguire coming on anytime shortly?
No.
Yes.
Yes. No, that's all good. Hey, Ned, so Trelly, a couple of things. How's the freshwater scene going?
Been really good. It's been mad good.
Yeah.
How's that? Yeah, the Goulburn's been fishing excellent. The water level's been down.
It's been good, has it?
Transfers, no environmental flows.
Nice.
Great. Yeah.
Is that because there's no one to pick the fruit?
Is that unusual?
Yeah, that's no problem.
That's unusual, isn't it?
That's unusual, yeah, because we've had the rainfall that they haven't had to deliver water.
Nice.
They haven't had the water flow. The channels are fishing great. Ranga Basin's just picking up on big reddies up to 50 centimetres.
Yeah,
good fish.
Nellacooty, Eildon, all up that way has been fishing. Even the little lakes, like like the Broken between Shep and Benalla, the Broken River up near Nathalia for Yellow Belly. It's been just tremendous.
Yeah,
incredible.
The other big news for the freshwater scene is the conference that's normally in December each year is going to be in April. We might even get some details up next week on that. But the conference in April, they've got a special guest, some bloke who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, have they? Oh, no.
Let's just call him old mate. There is someone special who knows a little bit about cod. Old mate, I don't know. But Travis Dowling will tell us, or the minister will have his name next week, I'm sure. But anyway, so
that'd be good.
There's a lot happening. Record numbers of water skiers on Lake Eildon would have made it pretty tough on the cod fishing up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there and Epilogue. There's been a couple of horror stories, like people fishing 20 yards off the bank, and the ski boats want to go in between it. The rest of the lake, which is like 500 yards to the other side of the lake, is just.
Yep.
I'm not going to
scratch your head sometimes.
I'm not going to say it.
Yep. Getting through all the news on freshwater, Go Fishing the Gambia is also on.
Yes.
In
Yep, that's the weekend before Easter.
Oh.
Oh, so it's really soon.
Yeah. So isn't it good? Like COVID shut everything, and all of a sudden we got
It's all coming back.
all these events. We might have another special announcement.
Have they started taking entries for Ngambia yet?
I think they've got their boating entries almost full,
Yeah.
and then they're working through the bank entries. So
Okay.
I'll get some figures on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
That'd be good. Next couple of weeks we'll talk about that 'cause it's still a while. And so we've got whiting challenges on, codferences on,
Yep.
Ngambi's on.
Ngambi's on.
Yeah.
There may be a talk night coming up.
Yeah.
Yes.
We found a venue that was going to allow. Well, they're allowed to have a crowd. So
Yeah, awesome.
Tennis is
Been a
half
while. Been a while since it's been done. No one cares about the tennis, Charlie.
yeah, I do. Anyway,
Been a little while since we have a talk night. It's good.
Like we're not flying the players for go fishing again.
Yeah, I know. Far
Yeah.
out.
No, but the good thing is, I think we're getting back to normality, and people are enjoying
feels
their
like
fishing.
it.
And
It
you know,
feels like it.
I've got to admit, I mean, we broadcasting here from Melbourne CBD, and there's still not the crowds out in the street when we get into the studio. Is there?
Definitely not.
You know, so whether that changes over time, I don't know. When people are enjoying, doing stuff from home.
Yeah,
I
there's a
guess,
few
so.
empty buildings and stuff around too, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there as what gets replaced with what. And
The
so
other thing we
forth, so
didn't
forth.
talk about, we should have talked about, is the pippy shortage. You can't get pippies.
Oh, yeah, far out.
That is bad,
Write that down for next week.
If you can get pippies, they're food grade and they cost an absolute mint. You'll have to get a bank loan to
Refinance.
buy some. Yeah, refinance the house. So pippies are hard to come by. If you can get some, buy them up because very, very hard to come by, and it's just basically, well, there's a couple of reasons. Let's talk about it next week. That's it for Talking Fishing. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, if you want to hear up-to-date reports on where they're biting this weekend, go to 3mp.com.au for Talking Fishing on 3MP this Friday. Next week, we will have the Minister in the studio. So until then, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop it.